AEW Dynamite starts off with Hangman. He ended up having a quick swash match against a jobber, but then he gets on the microphone and he basically ends up grabbing a steel chair to sit in it, and he ends up basically saying that he was going to sit in the ring until someone finds MJF and drags him to the ring so he can end up fighting him. Then you know the beginning MJF, he comes out with a bloody towel and he basically refuses to fight Hangman, and then he alludes to Revolution, and then he ends up mentioning Christopher Daniels and ends up saying that he's worried about Christopher Daniels and that Hangman should check up on him, and then he ends up leaving the arena. Then you end up getting on the Titantron that Christopher Daniels is he's got beaten up by MJF. He's all bloody and all that. Now it was a bad camera shot because as they pointed the camera to him for like a good like a second and a half, that they end up showing Christopher Daniels like blading himself, and then he hurried up and put it down. But he was bleeding. Then you end up getting Hangman. He ends up leaving the ring, chasing after MJF. He ends up finding Christopher Daniels, send his help, so people can, help Christopher Daniels. And then he ends up looking for MJF throughout the show. But MJF, of course, ends up leaving. This is good. I like what they're doing here. They're slowly building towards Hangman and MJF. I don't even know if it's confirmed for Revolution. I don't think it is. They might confirm it next Wednesday, but I'm assuming this has to happen at Revolution. There's no reason why it shouldn't. It's one of your bigger stories in AEW. There's no reason for why this shouldn't happen at Revolution. This is really good. I like what they're doing here. I like the attack of Christopher Daniels hitting Hangman where it hurts, hitting him in the emotional spot. I like what they're doing here. I really like what they did here. It wasn't that long of a segment either, which I also enjoy. This was good. I can't wait to see how they continue this story because I'm really loving the story of what they're doing here, of MJF being the dastardly heel of the fans, not appreciating him while everyone is on Hangman's side, who everyone adores Hangman. I like what they're doing here. I like the story that they're telling here, and I think right now, this is actually is the best story in AEW right now. So I was gonna say potentially, but nah, this is easily the best story in AEW. So I like what they're doing here, and I hope they continue to build upon this good feud. After this, we end up getting Will Ospreay versus Brian Keith. I'm not gonna really go in depth on it, to be honest, on why this match happened, because the reasoning of why this match happened really, I'm not gonna say it's stupid, but we really didn't need this match. The main purpose of this match was just to get to what we ended up getting afterwards, because Don Callis and Kyle Fletcher was in the crowd, in the stands, watching. Then Kyle Fletcher ended up calling Will Ospreay out. After the match, he ends up telling him to come near him so they could fight. Will Ospreay ends up going into the crowd. Kyle Fletcher comes down as well. They end up brawling. It was a short brawl. They didn't need to drag it, which I actually enjoyed because we didn't need like a 10 to 15 minute brawl. They brawled for like 2 minutes. Security broke them apart. That was the end of the segment there. I like it. This is just to build towards, of course, build towards Revolution and the match they're going to have in the steel cage match. That match should be an absolute banger, like all their matches have been. The only concern I have is that Will Ospreay is going to win that match, even though I feel like Kyle Fletcher should win that match. But to be fair, honestly, it doesn't even matter if Kyle Fletcher wins because they already, I wouldn't say ruined him, but they already kind of ruined his momentum after the initial win over Kyle Fletcher. And I felt like he should have still won the Continental Classic, but that's just me. But the match should be a banger, even though I think Kyle Fletcher should win to build him as a new star. But I'm assuming Will Ospreay will win that match. But nonetheless, this was good. This was good. I like the brawl, and I enjoy what they did here. After this, we end up getting Lance Archer, Brian Cage versus the Outrunners. Towards the end of the match, the Hurt Syndicate comes out. This allowed the Outrunners to end up getting a roll-up pin, picking up the victory. Okay. I am somewhat confused by this because I know Brian Cage and Lance Archer called out the Hurt Syndicate. So I'm assuming that the Outrunners are like the new number one contenders, because there's no way you can have there's no way you can have Brian Cage and Lance Archer still get a tag opportunity by losing to the Outrunners, or unless they get their win back. So I don't know what they're doing here. I don't know what the play is here, but I was a bit confused on why they have the Outrunners win. I'm assuming the Outrunners have to get a title opportunity now because they have to be the number one contenders for the tag titles now, I'm assuming, but we'll see how that plays out. After this, we end up getting Swerve. He ends up cutting a promo. He ends up mentioning how he still wants to be AEW champion and how that is still his focus. but he still needs to take care of Ricochet. Then Ricochet comes out. He basically ends up saying that, look, he's done with Swerve. He already beat Swerve. He already proved his point. There's no need for him to, face him again. Then Prince Nana ended up saying that he talked to Tony Khan and offered a rematch, and whoever wins the match will be the number one contender for the AEW title. Ricochet ends up agreeing, and he agrees to fight Swerve at Revolution, which I actually like. I like the idea of them having a number one contendership match. Now, making it a number one contendership match kind of makes me feel like Swerve is going to win, because I just don't see a world where Ricochet is fighting for an AEW title. Not now. Maybe if they continue this heel gimmick, possibly, but I feel like it's a bit too soon to put him in the world title picture, and I just don't see them doing that. I feel like they're going to have Swerve win, get his get back to make him the number one contender, because no offense to Ricochet, it's too soon right now. Build him up, keep building up this heel character, even though I don't really like it. I find it very cringe, even though I think that's a part of his gimmick. I understand why he's the way he is. He's basically playing up to the gimmick because that's a part of his gimmick. He's supposed to be cringe. He's supposed to be corny, goofy. I get it. I think it's bad, but I get it's a part of his gimmick. But the match should be a banger nonetheless. But then afterward, you're gonna be getting Prince Nana. He ends up talking to Swerve. He ends up telling Swerve that he's happy, that he's focused on the AEW Championship, but he also mentions that he needs to get his role back and he wants him to fix his legacy because he had took so many bullets for him, mentioning Hangman, mentioning Ricochet, and that he's been through a lot with Swerve, and that Swerve need to repay him by getting his jacket, getting his role back, or he don't know if he could be with Swerve anymore. I like what they did here. I definitely think Swerve is winning, especially with the whole Prince Nana storyline of him potentially not being by Swerve's side. I think that could play a factor. I'm assuming that Prince Nana will stay with Swerve because they're kind of like yin and yang. Swerve will be fine on his own. It's more Prince Nana. Because Prince Nana is just such a perfect fit with Swerve. I don't know who else he could possibly manage that would make sense. It's not like a Paul Heyman situation where Paul Heyman can work with damn near anybody for the most part. He has some misses, but for the most part, you could put basically anybody next to Paul Heyman for the most part. I don't know if you could say the same about Prince and Nana, so I'm assuming Swerve will win. They'll stick together for the most part. But I love what they did here. Even though I think the segment dragged a bit, mainly due to Ricochet, but overall, it was a solid segment. After this, we end up getting the Undisputed Kingdom versus Daniel Garcia and FTR. Undisputed Kingdom ended up picking up the victory, but after the match, you end up getting Kyle O'Reilly out of nowhere for whatever reason. They was about to shake hands, showing a sign of respect, but Kyle O'Reilly refused. He ended up kicking Daniel Garcia's hand. They end up shoving each other, and then they end up getting confirmed that Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia will have a match on Collision for the TNT title. Now I know they've been building this on Collision. They teased it like I forgot how long ago they teased it, but they initially did tease the Adam Cole going after the TNT title, so it's finally happening. I like it. I don't know who wins that match, to be honest. I wouldn't mind Adam Cole as TNT champion, but to be fair, the TNT title doesn't really mean anything. I'm very confused on why Kyle O'Reilly refused to shake the hand of FTR. I was very confused by that. You guys let me know. I haven't been watching Collision, so maybe that's a Collision feud that I haven't been paying attention to. Now, I have seen that Collision has actually been progressing stories, so if Collision is actually being a good show again, I might actually give it a watch. Maybe not this Saturday because Elimination Chamber, but overall, I like what they did here, and we'll see how that match plays out on Collision. Adam Cole versus Daniel Garcia. Then we end up getting Adam Copeland. He ends up attacking Claudio, brings him out to the ring. Then we'll get, he brings him out to the ring, but then Wheeler Yuta ends up coming out helping Claudio. They end up getting the upper hand. Then you get Jay White. He comes out, distracts the Death Riders. This allowed Adam Copeland to take the advantage. He takes out Wheeler Yuta and Claudio. Then you end up getting Marina Shafir. She climbs on Adam Copeland. Then you end up getting Adam Copeland ends up getting out of the he ends up getting her off her back. You get Wheeler Yuta tries to attack Adam Copeland, but he ends up accidentally attacking Marina. This allowed Jay White to end up hitting the Blade Runner. Then you get Adam Copeland. He ends up smashing Claudio's head with a steel chair. He was about to do the same to Marina, but then you end up getting Willow. She comes out and ends up smashing Marina's head with the steel chair. Willow Yuta didn't get his head smashed because Jon Moxley was able to save him. I enjoyed this segment, but I also was disappointed by it because John Moxley and the Death Riders look so weak and pathetic here. It is ridiculous. And I'm hoping it's actually crazy because I don't want Adam Copeland to win. But at this point, have him win at this point. Like, I honestly don't care. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if the Death Riders were getting taken out this easily, yes, just have Adam Copeland win, and then you could just have Christian Cage become the AEW championship after and cash in on Adam Copeland after the match, in my opinion, because we do not need no more Death Riders. It's time to end it. Yeah, just end it here. I don't have no more words to say, but the Death Riders just look absolutely pathetic. And then we get the main event: Orange Cassidy versus Konosuke Takeshita International Championship match. This was fine for what it was. Konosuke picked up the victory. Got to give him a victory to build towards the match against Kenny Omega at Revolution. Don't really need to explain. But overall, this was a good show. This is all I asked for AEW to do. Good storytelling. Good, decent storytelling that progresses. That's all I asked for. This was nothing major. This wasn't cinema or anything like that, but this is all I asked for. People be thinking I hate AEW. No, all I asked for is decent to good stories on a week-to-week basis. That's all I asked for. But this was a good, enjoyable show. You guys let me know your opinions, thoughts below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, that's it.